Hello, I hope you guys are doing well. It's me, Adnan Rahman. I am the market analyst for Errante. And today we have the Bank of England interest rate news ahead. And I'll be explaining you a couple of things that you need to keep in your mind while going into this event. Okay. How I've designed this that I'll be explaining you this way. First, we will go through this one, then we'll go through this one, and then through this one, and then through this one. Okay, so let me start one by one. What do we know from the growth forecast? Because interest rate is ahead, so you must have a view of what is happening with the growth and then what's happening with the inflation story. Okay, so for that, what I need to show you that the growth forecast was earlier forecasted like 1.5%, but now it has dropped down to 1%. Okay, so this is not a good news. The growth is downward. So the growth is downward. That means it's putting a pressure on the Bank of England to go for a rate cut scenario. On the other hand, the CZ index, that is, I've already explained many times and I've showed you that has also gone into a drop scenario. And it's said that it's on the lowest level of the last year as well. Okay, it has gone way low, way low. Let me show you this on the chart as well. See, this is the interest rate. Let me get rid of this one. This is the interest rate. Okay, interest rate, it's going down. The forecast of interest rate is towards the downside. Okay, and besides this, now let me show you the CZ. This is your CZ index. Okay, this one. This is the updated CZ index, and you can have a view from this place that it is the only one that is, the most negative of all. Okay, it's on minus 37. GBP is on the minus 37. The other ones are, above it in a slight better position. Okay, so keep this in mind while we will go to further analysis. And then later on, we have this chart over here by which you can see that, like today, we have this Bank of England MPC news, and then the expected rate will be 4.47, whether the current rate is 4.75, and this brings to 25 basis point. Okay, and the real interest rate is 2.25. The probable move is a cut. Okay, and the CZ index is this one. I'll try to have an image of this daily on the social media platforms of Errante. You can see it from there as well. So this was regarding CZ. CZ always it implies towards a growth scenario. Okay, what is GDP doing? So what do we know that GDP has gone towards the downside? The forecast from 1.5 to 1%, and the CZ is also towards the downside, and this is not a good news for this GBP. Okay. On the other hand, when it comes to inflation story, what do we have? That the energy costs are rising. Okay, and the cost of living of the people is going down and down and down, and this is not something that is favored for the UK economy. Okay, so inflation is an issue, and when inflation is an issue, obviously to tackle that issue, they will try to keep the interest rates on a higher position. Okay, and now let's see how it works out. Okay, and then now the third one is this one that I want to explain you. Okay, the interest rate cut. Now it is expected there are 98% chances of a cut. Okay, in this report, and okay, the rate cut to 4.5% from 4.75%. 4.75% is the current value, and now they are expecting it to go to 4.5%. This brings us to a 25 basis point of cut. Okay, so keep this in mind. Now, the main thing that I need to explain you guys is please try to understand this. Okay, what are the different scenarios that that can come up? For example, okay, for example, like see if they say that we will go for a cut in the news, okay, in the conference, they say that we'll go for a cut. Okay, we have gone for a cut, and there will be no more cuts. Okay, so what happens in this scenario? Usually, when we see a cut, the algos will try to short the pound. Okay, but this one will keep pound afloat because when they say no more cuts, that means Bank of England is expecting a higher inflation. Maybe either the case, whatever the case may be, they are wanting to keep the interest rate on a higher side. So obviously, interest rate on a higher side will support the pound. Okay, so this is a mixed type of scenario. Please be careful of this. Okay, the second option, what the second option can be, like we'll go for cut, okay, and then more two more cuts. Okay, if we have this scenario, okay, fine, a cut means the default scenario is towards the downside, and two more cuts, that is what is expected, okay, towards the downside. Pound can go down, but it won't go too much of a down, okay, because remember, news is always discounted, okay, it's always discounted. Okay, what can be the third option? Like, see, if we have something like 50 basis point of cut, this is something that creates a house scenario in the market. Okay, in that case, as it's a cut and it's above the expected, so you can expect the market to go down. But here, by market I mean GBP. Okay, keep this in mind. And then the other scenario, like, see, if we have like a cut, okay, cut, and then they say, man, we are going into a hold scenario, okay, and we want to remain data dependent. Okay, so cut or a hold scenario, whatever this is. Okay, these can be two options, cut or a hold scenario. But with that, they say that we want to remain in a data dependent approach. That means that it can be a positive news or positive effect for the GBP, because they are, again, directly or indirectly, they are acknowledging this, that they need more time to study the markets. Okay, so this is one thing you can keep in mind. The other option is this, that if they like go into a cut or hold, okay, and the guidance is pretty bad. Okay, so even though if we have a cut scenario or a hold scenario, but the guidance is pretty bad. The guidance, what does the guidance means? Like these ones, okay, these ones are pretty bad. Like it goes to, like, it drops below 1%, GDP drops below 1%, inflation skyrockets. Okay, even inflation goes down as well. Okay, if the GDP is bad, that means stagflation. Okay, stagflation. So in that case, again, we can expect the pound to go down. So there is only one scenario in which pound is expected to be in a in a balanced position. That is where we have like in a short term hawkish stance, like cut, okay, and then they say we are data dependent. Okay, this data dependent or news by news, something they can twist their wordings. So whatever the word may be, you must understand that if they need time to assess the scenario, that means that they this can be a little bit of positive effect for the GBP. So keep this in mind. These are the possible scenarios. The reason why I'm telling you this, because the initial reaction, whatever whether if there is a cut or even there is a hike, the initial reaction we see will be something like this one. Okay, but what happens next? The next scenarios will obviously be after the breakout of this initial pull, okay, initial movement, and then whatever is the guidance saying us. Okay, once we have this game out of the way, and once we understand the guidance which tells us about these two things, okay, and this one, then we can plus minus them, and then I've explained you 3-4 scenarios up. Then we can understand, okay, now where can the pound go? Can it go up or can it go down? This is the whole plan. Okay, and then you can see pound will follow that suit. Okay, I hope I have explained very well in very detail, but if you have any further questions, please do let me know. I'll answer. Okay, and then this is a very important press conference, because like we'll have let me explain you first. Let me explain you first the unemployment claims. Okay, in terms of the job data, the unemployment data by the ONS, it has increased from 4.3% to 4.4%. Now this is also not a good news. Okay, and again it's adding to this cut story. Okay, it's adding to this cut story. Now the main thing, or the main focus of all of this stuff is based on this guy. Okay, what this guy will come and say. Okay, this is the main focus. And why it's important? Because this is important because in his press conference, what questions will be asked? Like if I was the guy over there, and I was like told to ask him questions, what would I ask him? I would ask him, Okay, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Tell me about this. Okay, this is the question that I'll ask. Okay, so this is the question what other economists or other people over there will ask him to tell about tariff. What happens if tariffs are imposed? Okay, will you go for retaliation? Okay, will you go for retaliation or will you just surrender? Okay, this is the main question because this will depend. Like, see, I just try to understand. Like, let's suppose if Trump's just come and says after this interest rate news or before this, whenever in the time, he says, okay, tariffs, let's suppose 15%. Okay, what will be the next step of Bank of England or the government? Will they retaliate? Okay, or will they come into an agreement? Okay, this is the main question. If they come into retaliation, the market will be in this way. Okay, we don't know anything. We don't know where the market will go. What will happen? You can see the market moving this way. But if they come into an agreement, okay, we can see USD down and GBP up. Okay, this is the thing. So main thing again, it lies in what this man says. I mean, even if he says, I don't know whether he will say or not. I don't know. Okay, so this is something, and then obviously the outlook, whatever he says, like, okay man, this is going up or down, this is going up or down. So it's a mixed bag picture and no one knows what happens. Okay, what is to happen? So you need to focus on this guy, what he is saying, because he's the one who will be letting us know about the tariffs. Okay, so keep this in mind. I hope you understand all of these things, because we at Errante explain each and every fundamental aspect. Okay, take you to the charts. What do we know over here? This is your high over here, and then we have this sweep over here. Okay, and we can see this market moving towards the downside over here from this no demand on this place. Okay, keep this in mind. And if you can draw a trend line over here into your in your vision, you can see this is a trend line, a break type of thing as well. Okay, now let's see, do we have any order blocks over here? We have this order block that is working as a support area over here, and a break below this one over here can bring the market towards the downside, given that there is massive weakness in the USD. Okay, but if there is no proper communication, you can expect the market to be in this area, like somewhere falling into this area or maximum into this area. Okay, keep this in mind. uh, and nothing more can be said, because obviously when you see the news, you will see massive ups and downs. So just wait for the news. Okay, if you have any questions, please do let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you. Have a good day.